Hello, my name is Rochelle Engler-Bennett, Associate Commissioner, Student and Family Support at the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. And I would like to welcome you to this webinar introducing the revisions to the Safe and Supportive Schools Framework and Self-Reflection Tool. Joining me today are my colleagues, Stacy Cabral, the Department's Safe and Supportive Schools Program Specialist, John Doherty, Superintendent of Reading Public Schools, and my co-chair on the Safe and Supportive Schools Commission, and Cindy Weeks-Bradley, the department's Assistance Lead in the Statewide Systems of Support Office. Together, we will introduce you to the newly revised Safe and Supportive Schools Framework and Self-Reflection Tool, provide some background context for it, and encourage you to provide feedback about the resources to help us strengthen them in ways that can best meet the needs of our schools, staff, students, families, and communities across the Commonwealth. Please note that we understand schools and districts, families, and students are grappling with many challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Although the framework and tool do not explicitly speak to current expectations for in-person protocols, as well as hybrid and remote learning settings, the aim is for the framework and tool to be useful in thinking through and strengthening equity-based efforts to create safe and supportive learning environments for all students in all contexts. And this is even more important at this time, given ways the pandemic has exacerbated inequities and disparities across communities, families, and students in relation to education, economics, health, and more.
Hello, my name is John Doherty, Superintendent, Reading Public Schools, and co-chair of the Safe and Supportive Schools Commission. The Safe and Supportive Schools Framework was first created as the Behavioral Health in Public Schools Framework and Tool through legislation enacted by the Massachusetts State Legislature in 2008. It provides guidance and support to school administrators, educators, and planning teams to help strengthen efforts to foster safe, positive, healthy, culturally sustaining, and inclusive whole school learning environments. The goal of creating safe and supportive schools is to enable students to develop positive relationships with adults and peers, regulate their emotions and behaviors, achieve academic and non-academic success in school, and maintain physical and psychological health and well-being. Safe and supportive schools integrate services and initiatives, including social emotional learning, bullying prevention, trauma sensitivity, racial and ethnic equity, cultural responsiveness, dropout prevention, truancy reduction, systems that support students' behavioral and mental health needs, foster care and homeless youth education, inclusive practices for all students, including students with disabilities, and using positive behavioral approaches that reduce suspensions and expulsions. The Safe and Supportive Schools Framework and Self-Reflection Tool is free and available for use by any school or district in the Commonwealth. Since 2014, approximately 260 schools in 130 districts have used the tool. Approximately one-half of these districts have received Safe and Supportive Schools grants to help guide planning and implementation efforts.
Hello, I'm Stacy Cabral. The Safe and Supportive Schools Framework and Self-Reflection Tool are updated periodically, and most recently during the 2020-2021 school year. The current revised Safe and Supportive Schools Framework and Tool, also referred to as the Framework Implementation Guide, offers a collaborative process for school teams to use in collaborative reflection, planning, and implementation efforts. The revised version is available for use during the community vetting process. The foundation for the revised Safe and Supportive Schools Framework Implementation Guide are the essential elements of a safe and supportive school. The essential elements include supporting all students to feel safe physically, socially, emotionally, behaviorally, and academically. Build community connectedness and positive relationships with adults, families, guardians, and peers of similar and different cultural, ethnic, and racial backgrounds. Manage and self-regulate their emotions and behaviors. Experience a sense of agency and effectively self-advocate in appropriate ways. Develop a sense of competence and academic success with multiple opportunities to learn and practice newly developing skills as part of a productive community, and experience physical health and well-being. Deepening understanding of all stakeholders of the need for a safe and supportive schools, using a whole school approach that values the expertise of educators and includes the voices of students and families, and acknowledges the urgency for addressing systemic inequities, including racism, trauma's impact on learning, and other systemic issues. Advancing equity across the school and community for all students, families, and staff by addressing systemic inequities, eliminating predictable disparities, and ensuring students are engaged and challenged to achieve their fullest potential. Exemplifying cultural responsiveness in the school and community to dismantle implicit biases and systemic inequalities in order to create learning environments that welcome, include, and support all students to deeply learn, grow, and thrive. And reflecting and adapting to the ever-changing needs of students, families, and staff in the surrounding community by working together as a team with a sense of shared responsibility for all. The essential elements provide a touchstone for planning and implementation that teams use when exploring various aspects of school operations, staffing, programs, and services.
Hello, I'm Cindy Weeks Bradley. The process outlined in the Framework Implementation Guide helps teams to continuously reflect upon the essential elements during planning and implementation using a comprehensive 5-phase approach. Phase 1, building a foundation and strengthening readiness. Phase 2, reflecting on the current state and identifying priorities. Phase 3, action planning. Phase 4, implementation. Phase 5, developing a cycle of reflection and continuous improvement. The process guides school teams to lead the entire staff to develop a deeper awareness of the qualities of the safe and supportive schools and the need to make their own school more safe and supportive. Schools are expected to convene a planning team to lead the work, conduct a deep dive into their data, and use surveys, focus groups, and other means to reflect on their school's current progress, gaps, and growing edges. Additionally, school teams are encouraged to work collaboratively to create, implement action plans that identify priorities and establish a vision of what safe and supportive means within their own environment. The Safe and Supportive School Frameworks can support a locally run approach to reflecting, planning, implementing, and continuously improving work related to strengthening safe and supportive schools. While teams can use the phases and steps as designed, they are highly encouraged to modify them at any point where it makes sense based on local context, resources, and capacity.
The last section of the Safe and Supportive Schools Framework and Tool is a set of 6 implementation levers grounded in the essential elements. These levers represent different areas of school operation and show within them a range within a rubric with possible actions that can be taken that embody safe and supportive learning environments. There are 6 defined levers that speak to a number of areas of school operation in which to focus the planning, implementation, and continuous improvement of initiatives, activities, and other work associated with a school's implementation of the Safe and Supportive Schools Framework. The levers are leadership and culture, family and community engagement, professional learning opportunities, access to resources and services, teaching and learning that fosters safe and supportive environments, and policies and procedures. There are 5 indicators designed to further organize the work within and across each lever. The indicators are based on the essential elements of a safe and supportive school, and they are used to help schools intentionally address each element during planning and implementation. The 5 indicators and essential elements are supporting all students, deepening understanding, advancing equity, exemplifying cultural responsiveness, and reflecting and adapting. Each implementation lever begins with a set of guiding questions aimed at helping school teams explore each of the essential elements within the context of that area. The implementation levers will help school and district teams find appropriate entry points and identify priorities based on local context. When using this rubric, teams can identify tangible evidence of where the school is on the continuum, from beginning to excelling, and can inform a team's plans for building upon strengths and addressing challenges.
The revised self-reflection tool is precisely aligned to the implementation levers and can be used by schools to help assess their capacity to create and sustain safe and supportive school environments for all students. There are 2 parts to the self-reflection tool. The first is a preliminary self-reflection for teams to explore how the essential elements are currently being practiced or are already embedded in the school, and where gaps exist. This can help the planning team surface any immediate concerns and identify entry points for the next steps in the work. The second part of the self-reflection tool is a much deeper dive. In this step, the planning team works together using the self-reflection tool to identify areas where additional school-based action, efforts, guidance, and support are needed to create, expand upon, and maintain safe and supportive school environments, and to create action and implementation plans to address the areas of need identified by the assessment.
We are inviting you to take a tour of the revised Safe and Supportive Schools Framework Implementation Guide and Self-Reflection Tools. Please contact us via email so that you can access all of the resources. We will also share a link to a short survey to provide us with your feedback. We hope that you can take the time to share your thoughts with us so we will know where we are on track and where we can make further improvements to the Safe and Supportive Schools framework and/or the self-reflection tool to be more useful. We are excited to share the revised Safe and Supportive framework and the self-reflection tool, and we look forward to your feedback.